All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to It's Been a Minute. Hope everybody has been enjoying their summer, and welcome to a fresh new episode of Frozen Oil. Before we start this journey on the 25-26 season, and welcome, Wayner.
How you doing, Richie?
I'm going to give you a round of applause. Because now we have noise buttons on the show finally. So welcome, Wayner. How's your summer been, buddy?
Awesome. It was actually incredible. How was yours?
Great, man. Great. And
there
99.
wasn't much to talk about. There wasn't much.
Not much at all, to be honest with you. And 99 Wayne Gretzky percent of my thoughts on how great this summer was in Edmonton was, honestly, the weather was unbelievable, obviously. And it seems to be holding. So knock on wood, it seems to be holding. So been a great summer, and we missed all of you. Again, thanks to everyone for subscribing to the channel and allowing us to reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers before last season's end. Obviously, did not end the way we wanted it to with the Stanley Cup, but back-to-back Stanley Cup losses. It was nice to have a little break, to be honest with you. And we're right back at it. So anyways, Wayner, today, not to keep this intro going on for too long, let's get right into it. The noise has just reached a level on Connor McDavid and his extension to a point where we got to chime in on this because...
We thought we were going to be off for another week or two, but...
Yeah, I know. And we had, we both still are very confident that he's going to sign. But we're going to talk a little bit about the most recent two interviews. There's been so many about it, but let's get right into this. So first one here, and before we even start, Wayner, look at his face. He seems like he does not want to talk about this. So this is obviously from the 32 Thoughts podcast with Elliot Friedman.
We've all seen it. He's slimmed down a bit.
Yeah, he's looking thin, but I mean, that's how he is. So let's just play this clip and we'll get our thoughts right after it. So here we go. Connor McDavid.
Last one for me on this, Connor, is just what do you want to see? Like, when I'm sure you've told the Oilers, this is important to me. This is what gets me to commit for however long I decide to commit. What is that?
Yeah, that's a good question. Truthfully, what do I need to see? I guess the answer is nothing. All the pieces are here for 25-26. It's going to be
oh my God.
Feeling, it's going to be when the time's right, the moment's right, I think it'll just be a feeling. But as of right now, just excited to get the season going, really.
Not the greatest answer, in my opinion, from Nick Jesus himself. That pause, for me, just, again, heavy speculation here. We don't want to be like those other channels or podcasts that do all this speculation with zero credibility to it. We just want to talk about what, after something happens, as fans. Again, this is a fan channel. We just want to discuss it as fans because it's real at that point. And this interview, really, when he's asked, what are you waiting to look at? And he says nothing. We have all the pieces. So a lot of people speculated that it was roster and whatsoever. The other thing I wanted to point out was he specifically said the 25-26 season. And he didn't go beyond that. So he's obviously signed for this season, but my percentage of worry went from 0% to probably about 5%. I'm about 5% worried now. So that's me, and obviously he's my favorite hockey player ever, and it would be devastating to lose this guy, especially if he walks to free agency. It'd be devastating for our team. But this is where we're at right now. Not a lot of information coming from Connor himself and from that interview. More of the same, really. Wayner, what are your thoughts on just that interview before we get into the details of long-term Connor stuff.
Well, he's obviously being, I guess, coached to say what he needs to say. He's in the middle of a negotiation. He's in the middle of the biggest negotiation of his whole life. So blame the guy for speaking in, I guess, political terms. He's doing what he has to do, and his agent is teaching him well. He's being consistent. He's stayed consistent all summer. Anytime he's been asked anything, he's basically repeated the same things. He said 25-26 season on purpose. He's specifically saying, I'm locked into this next season because he knows that's all he signed for. And you say you're 5% worried, I'm probably 2% worried. I still think he's going to sign a deal. How long that deal is dependent on many factors. One of the factors is the cap's going up, right? It's continuously going to go up over the next 3 years. So I don't blame the guy for not wanting to sign an 8-year deal right now, right off the bat, because instantly he'll be underpaid. So I'm not going to be surprised or shocked or hurt upset if the guy signs less than 8 years. I think that's a formality. I don't think he's
and even if he signed 4 years, Wayner, that's 5 extra years, including from this point in time of this video. It's 5 extra seasons of Connor McDavid in his
plus
prime.
The 10 we've already had him. So at that point, good on him. If he only signs a 3 or 4 year deal, I'd be personally satisfied with that. And like I said, I'm 2% worried that he's not going to do that.
All right.
The biggest reasoning for me to say that is because Draisaitl signed last year. No one could convince me that Draisaitl signed an 8-year deal without having an idea of what McDavid would sign for. Now, McDavid's doing everything right now, saying the right things in the middle of a negotiation, but you watch, after he signs, it's going to be, it was Edmonton all along. I wanted to be here all along. I personally think the holdup is because I don't think there's a real negotiation going on with the management. If there is...
Can I interrupt you really quickly, Wayner? I want to interrupt you because you say negotiation and now you're mentioning management. Now, the Edmonton Oilers have had probably the worst track record in the NHL when it comes to management, especially in the last 10 years with Connor McDavid on our roster. And I said this before, assets, and I will continue. I will continue to say this. I will continue to say this. From the minute we had Connor McDavid, especially on his rookie contract, the Edmonton Oilers should have been, at least by year 2 and 3 of that rookie deal, immediate cup contenders because his game never changed. It's the same game from when he broke into the league. Just an absolute terror for teams to face. Now, that negotiation part that you're talking about, Wayner, he's negotiating with this team that has fumbled the ball as far as management goes so many times, especially in the McDavid era. So I think it'll be a perfect segue to get to our next clip. And this is the part that I would be at 2% with you just from that interview because he does look coached and everything and he has to say the right stuff. But I will say this. You're dealing with Edmonton Oilers management. And this is the same management that now Connor McDavid is stressing on. If you watch other videos of his, and now all the Oilers media is saying, we're getting new blood into the system, and we're really going to lean on these young guys. Well, you had those young guys, and we're not going to keep going back to this, but you had Holloway and Broberg, and that would have been, as stated on this channel from day one, go back and look at the videos, a completely outrageous mistake by the franchise. And now I believe that decision or that event is causing this delay, because if it's not the money, Wayner, and it's not the term, and it's just he's saying it's not the team, then...
We both agree that there's no... I don't think the management's negotiating, trying to talk him into less money or less term. Basically, he's going to pick whatever term and money he wants.
But just going back to that point of management and fumbling the ball, Holland's gone, but Bowman was the GM for a 2-week period approximately to match those offer sheets. It didn't happen. We gave him a mulligan on that as Oiler fans, but just the ramifications of it down the road are severe. And this, I believe, is one of the ramifications. Let's take a look at this clip because it's the first couple of minutes that we want to discuss. And they come out right out the hop asking about the elephant in the room.
Well, you've talked a little bit about Connor McDavid and his contract situation. I guess we'll start maybe an update. And the other thing I guess I would ask is, do you have to make a sales pitch to him at this point? What are the conversations like? Because we're getting the money out of it, we think. So what are the conversations like in trying to get him back?
I think the conversations with Connor are always more, I wouldn't say it's a sales pitch as much as just it's a dialogue when he has questions or I don't want to get into what we talk about, but I think it's more free-flowing conversations. Like I've gotten to know him now. I've been here for a year, and I feel like we can just sit down and talk hockey or talk about things that are on his mind, things about the current team or the future team. And I've done that not just recently, but also throughout the last season. Like I find he's got a real good pulse on the team as well. I mean, as the leader and the captain, I think he has thoughts on things, and I want to understand that so that I can, kind of working together on it.
So I'm just going to pause it right there, Wayner. McDavid, just by these comments, obviously he has LeBron James power in the fact that he is so big and so much bigger than just the Edmonton Oilers. He can go anywhere. He can demand the highest salary in the league. He can demand 20% of the cap or whatever it's going to be. But basically, what I'm getting from this is they're asking Connor McDavid about the roster and future roster. And that is probably coming from the fact that gigantic mistakes have been made over the past 10 years, like you've eloquently said so many times, Wayne. Correct? Tell me if I'm wrong.
Look, if Connor McDavid is questioning management and is questioning their, I guess, ability to race a competitive team moving forward, no one should blame him because the track record speaks for itself. Management, we've both said this, has been our biggest detriment over the Connor McDavid era and probably before that as well. Okay. So if the guy is 2 months in or almost 3 months in to being able to sign an extension, he hasn't done it 2 or 3 months in. Really, in the big picture, that's not really that big of a deal. Because if he's questioning his ability to win here, right, it's his career. He wants to leave with a Stanley Cup ring, at least one. And if management hasn't really given him a reason to think that they're able to do so to get the job done over the next term of his length of whatever he wants to sign for, if he resigns, I guess, no one can blame him. So let him ask all the questions he wants, and whenever he gets that comfort level and whenever he gets that feeling, as he says, then go ahead. Now, I guess the other side of that is, what other team has made it to the Stanley Cup final the last 2 years in a row? It's only been the Florida Panthers, and they beat it both times. So we've been as close as you can be without actually winning the thing. But gigantic mistakes have been made, and he probably sees that too. And if he thinks that he could be the piece to win a cup somewhere else, does he want to put his name on a contract here if he's not comfortable with that? No. But do I think that's going to happen? No. I do think ultimately he's going to say, where else can I play where the team is this close, that can fit me under the cap, that I get to play with Leon Draisaitl, my best buddy, and a top 3 talent in his own right, and the comfortability, and that looks like his wife's happy here too. There's many reasons for him to sign in Edmonton. I just don't think we should be all shocked that he didn't sign 2 weeks in, a month in, even 2 months in. To me, it's his right.
Absolutely it is, but I think the 2% went to 5% at this point in the press conference from Stan Bowman. Let's keep it rolling here because honestly, it gets way worse.
I would say it's not so much a sales pitch as it is just a conversation, and it goes in a bunch of different directions usually.
Conversations are more about the next year's team than they are even this year?
Well, it's a blend of that. I would say he does ask me about where do I envision things. So that's a part of it. We talk about this year too. And we talked about, what did we do well last year? What do we think we could change or should change? So I would say it's not limited to just one thing, but it does definitely touch on future.
Have an update on Zach Hyman as we head toward camp and into.
First of all, the guy whoever that reporter was that asked for an update on Zach Hyman right after the pressure started with Connor McDavid, honestly, that's just brutal. Come out the gate with really what's important and what's the topic. And that whole press conference should have been the reporters just bombarding him nonstop about these questions, because he starts to get, honestly, towards the end of this thing, and you can go and see it yourself, but he starts to get, he doesn't have all the answers. To me, he looks like he started to get nervous.
So what do you expect Stan Bowman to say? I don't think he's withholding information other than the private conversations that he and Connor are having. And now
he's not withholding information, because I don't think he has information.
Because what is there when Connor's ready to say, I'll sign for this many years for this much money, Stan Bowman's going to be like, done, let's draw it up. There's no negotiating going on. I don't think there needs to be. Connor's not sitting in there having conversations with Stan Bowman daily, other than the questions
you have a responsibility to us, the fans, as to what on earth is this delay about. That's what I'm talking about. And I'm telling you, judging by the way he's talking and the way he's delivering this media conference to these reporters, he does not look like a confident general manager in general. He doesn't have that. The Oilers should hire a PR guy or gal. The Oilers need to hire a PR person that knows how to actually publicly speak and use the proper words. I just don't buy it myself that all of a sudden at a point where Stan Bowman really is the guy in charge, he's the current GM, and I bet you McDavid is asking him, like, hey, what's your plan? When are you planning to make moves? What kind of moves are these going to be? If he's talking to Connor McDavid about the team and changes from the year before, I just don't see how you could possibly improve other than the area of goaltending to a point where it's going to dramatically change the DNA of this team. The DNA of the Edmonton Oilers is based on Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl for the last 10 years.
Of course.
Yes, you can throw in Nugent Hopkins. Yes, you can throw in Zach Hyman. Yes, you can throw in Ekholm, definitely, once we had him. Yes, Bouchard is a big piece. But at the end of the day, it's 97 and 29. And 29 signed for 8 years. So again, this could all be blown out of proportion. But at the end of the day, the Edmonton Oilers as a organization have had so many ridiculous mishaps when it comes to publicly speaking. You can go back to Kevin Lowe and his tier 1 fan and his tier 2 fan. You don't need to go and talk and say this stuff. You don't need to do it yourself. You know what I mean? Get somebody that knows how to talk to do these things for you. You made more money than any other team in the NHL last year. You are a juggernaut, not just on the ice, but on the balance sheet. And now you just got an approval for a $450 million fan park attached to your arena. Some arenas cost that much in the United States, right? So all this money is being spent and being built. And that's, I guess we're going to get to the part of the episode where we're going to talk about really our reasons for him to stay, Wayner. And, one of them for me is obviously like the investment that's going on around the Edmonton Oilers and around the arena is another big thing. But just as an organization, Stan Bowman needs to come out calm, composed. He was sick as a dog once again, he's sick. Last time he did a thing, he had to cancel it. He had food poisoning. If you watch the whole, 30 minutes of this thing, he's coughing, he's hacking, he's sneezing, he can't talk, he keeps drinking water. We're nervous. We are nervous, and we need someone to calm our nerves. And goes out there and starts talking about dialogue and conversation and this and that. It's just get out there and just say the Edmonton Oilers have left the door wide open to Connor McDavid signing for any amount of term, any amount of money that he wants. The ball's in his court. That's everything from the Edmonton Oilers. And that's it. Don't come and tell me that you're going to ask Connor McDavid about what you should have done in the past differently and what you plan on doing in the future. We got hosed by Ken Holland. Big time. Huge. Hosed. And now we're in the situation because so many fans and so many people want to say and protect these media guys that do not ask the hard questions. And at the end of the day, do not call Ken Holland out on the ridiculous moves that he's made in the past. We have no system, Wayne. We have obliterated our system. And the top two guys in our system are on the first and second line. I mean, we're not at this point with where McDavid is in his career and where Leon Draisaitl is in his career. We're not at this point where we should be bringing in fresh new guys that are both 5'10" and under and have this expectation that these kids are just going to come in and just magically light it up. You're playing against grown men, and the Edmonton Oilers are notorious. They are notorious for pushing the players into the league before they're ready. We did it with Taylor Hall. We did it with Nugent Hopkins. We did it with Nail Yakupov. We did it with so many players. We need them to be superstars right away. We never had a system, and we're right back in that position where we don't have.
Are you worried that McDavid is concerned about the roster and the young guys coming in, and that it might not be enough, as well as the goaltending not being addressed? We're going in with the same tandem as we did last year.
I mean, he's not worried. He knows they're talented, especially Savoie. Like, Savoie is a talented player, and he was, heavily touted. Like, he was, if Bedard wasn't, around, he probably would have been one of the biggest hyped players if Bedard wasn't in the conversation, right? Like, when he was 15, 16 years old, like, Savoie up there with Bedard as the best prospect and the next big thing to come. So, and look, we gave up McLeod for him, a solid point guy. Like, that can skate fast. He wasn't have the time that we needed, but he's a great hockey player, and we gave up a developed, great hockey player to get Savoie. But Savoie is gonna be something at some point or another. It's just, are they going to be what we need them to be right now? So I said it last year. We are going to be in a mini rebuild this year. And it's how do we come out of this mini rebuild with more cap space for the 26-27 season? And I bet you that's what he's asking about. But I mean, you're never going to get those correct answers, or the answers that, you could basically convince McDavid from now with a crystal ball and tell him, oh, everything's going to be perfect for you. I mean, McDavid, it doesn't matter where he goes. He's going to be a cup contender no matter where he goes. I also thought to myself, is it possible that Connor could be negotiating for like a percentage of the team? But I mean, I went through as much information as I could online, and everything just led to that would be circumventing, the CBA and money and getting more blah, blah, blah. But your guess is as good as mine. But I mean, that's happening now. Now it's just out of control now. Like, we had to make a comment on it. So here we are.
I think it has everything to do with Kaprizov not signing yet.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Leon, look already underpaid. He hasn't even he's starting year one this year on that new deal. He's already underpaid. So do you want to be sitting there saying, well, I left, you want to sign an 8-year deal, and year one of that 8-year deal, you're already $2 million underpaid, 4+ every year on top of that? Like, I think there's something to that. The cap going up is definitely why it's not going to be an 8-year deal, in my opinion. And Kaprizov signs. Maybe you see McDavid signing maybe within a week after. I mean, that's my best guess, because he's probably really the only one that can challenge him to possibly kind of be the big guy, the highest, right? I don't know if that means much to Connor or not, but you know, he's a competitive guy, and if he signs, you know, call it whatever, 17, 18 million or whatever, he doesn't want to see Kaprizov get 18.25, you know, or something just above him, right?
But I would suggest that I would think it would be more beneficial to Kaprizov if McDavid signed first.
Of course,
because
and
whatever
maybe
McDavid
they're
signs
just playing
at,
a game of chicken.
Yeah. So, but I don't. You're saying that like you're reverse. You're saying McDavid's waiting for Kaprizov, when McDavid doesn't care about being the highest paid player. He wants to have a good team around him in order to win. So it'd be more beneficial to Kaprizov and the Minnesota Wild to McDavid signing first, and let's just say he signed for 17 million. Then, you know, the Minnesota Wild can say, okay, Kaprizov, you're 18 million. You're the player highest paid, $1 million more than McDavid. How do you say no to this, right?
Right. But if you're McDavid and that happens, I think that would bother him, and not because he's greedy. You know, I mean, he has more money than he needs, anyways. But it's a competitive thing. It's, you want to be the highest paid player because you deserve it. You are the best.
Well,
if I'm not,
you could be right. You could
maximum that he can take, which is 20% of the cap. Then I better damn well be the top paid player. So if it's a matter of waiting a few months or waiting even till next summer until Kaprizov signs, well, then so be it. And then he'll wait. But at the end of the day, I do think he'll be an Oiler for the next few years to come. So, I mean, I'm just looking at it long. Maybe that's what's helping me, I guess. You know, it's not, I'm not stressed about it, but it is a little bit surprising that by now, you know, he wouldn't want to have this done, so he doesn't have to answer the questions. Because I'm sure it's getting pretty annoying having to answer the question every time he's in front of a microphone. But at the end of the day, he's right. It's a big decision. It's the biggest contract he's going to negotiate in his career, probably. This is the one, and he's earned the right. So let's give him that time and space, and let's not worry about this.
Yeah, in a way, you're if it is holding the management accountable, yeah, you're happy. But if we lose Connor McDavid to free agency and get nothing in return, Wayne, the Decade of Darkness is going to look like a fucking walk in the park compared to what would happen to this team. Because it would not be long after that Draisaitl would demand a trade.
Well, that would be worst case scenario. What's your point? Right?
But it's a scenario, right? It is a scenario.
It is.
And that's the thing that at the end of the day, Connor McDavid himself does not supersede this logo. Nothing should supersede this logo as a general manager. Nothing should supersede the logo. If you lose Connor McDavid to free agency and get zero in return, that would be the new biggest fuck up of Oiler management in history. I'll leave it at that. Well, we went double time over what we predicted this episode was going to go, Wayner. We'll see if we can edit it. Thanks so much, buddy, for doing this. Looking forward to the new season.
Yeah.
And we're going to be doing a new trivia here coming at you right away during training camp. And then we'll get our season preview video going, and then it'll be back to the normal schedule. So
hopefully
thanks again, Wayne. And
Hopefully, we're
Yep.
doing a video and a signing here soon to come as well. So
we would definitely be doing a interruption into the scheduled programming if McDavid were to. Had a great summer, and we're looking forward to bringing you more videos as this 25-26 season gets underway. So thanks again from everyone at Frozen Oil. And I guess it's been a while, but I'll let you take this one out, Wayner. Most importantly,
go Oilers, go!
Frozen or hockey, the channels you need. Oilers on the ice, unstoppable speed. Chasing the cup, we're gonna succeed. With David leading, we're built to exceed.
Frozen or hockey,